gotta take pride in who you are. Know you deserve all this and more. Nothing is written, nothing is set. If you want the future, you gotta get it. They may be smarter, they may be stronger, but you have a will and you got a hunger. Oh, oh, I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, oh, I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, rise up, rise up. Why deny when you know what your heart desires? You wanna burn bright, then you know you've got to feed the fire. One flash, one flicker, one spark, and then your heart beats quicker. You're gonna fail and you're gonna fall. You're gonna gamble and lose it all. You're gonna bleed and you're gonna cry, but better to fail than never to try. Those are the risks when you're a contender. Scars that mark you from a pretender. When no one knocks you down, then you get right back up again, sing it and show them all just who they're fucking with. Oh, oh, I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, oh, I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, rise up, rise up. The forest falls one tree at a time, so keep your eyes on the prize at the end of the line and be wise. Just remember what the scholars say: when you got one shot, you don't throw it away. Oh, 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 I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, 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 I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, 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 I wanna see you rise up, rise up. Oh, 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 I wanna see you rise. Oh, oh, I wanna see you rise up, rise up.
Which the claim or whatever it is.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're live. Hello everybody. Welcome to the stream. I know there's talk of other people being involved. They are around. I assure you, they are around. And if someone is in Discord and is able to keep an eye on it, if you see Dave jumping around or pop into the general bit, let me know, because then I can go and get that all sorted. We can't see your faces.
But you'll have to deal with us first.
Can you hear me okay? I think they can hear us okay.
I hope so.
Just says they can't see our faces.
Well, that's not a bad thing.
No, this is true.
I'm not wearing my real face. I'm showing my human face today.
Fine for me. Yep, can hear you, can see you. We can see you, hear you. I can see and hear okay. I refreshed. So who couldn't... so it was Dawn. Oh, it's appeared now. That was weird. That was weird. But as you've probably guessed, OBS has done another update because they're dicks. And you appeared when I was practicing the ukulele. You summoned us. So we're waiting on Dave and Chloe may turn up. I don't know. Who knows? Jesus, Matt, warn us before you show your human face. Excellent.
Well, I was... So when we were going to have this stream originally, like it feels like months ago now, I was going to dress up as Val and just wear all of my Orc kit, because I thought what's better to show off Orc kit than just wearing it.
This is true.
But I really can't be arsed. It's a lot of effort to be an Orc, and I'd forget, it takes me an hour to kit up in the field. I don't really fancy that. As much as I love, your videos, Steve, I'm not going to put that much effort in.
No, look at me. Come on, man, look at me. I don't put any effort in. The most effort I've ever put in for one of my videos. I've never put any effort into any of my videos ever.
Not even you must have for the very first one when you were introducing yourself and trying to grow your channel. You must have put more effort in then.
Have you seen my first video? You're not missing anything at all.
What happens if I say no?
My first video the background takes up 90% of the screen. I'm that big in the corner. I'm up here like this, a nice little square like that in the corner. That's the rest of the screen. There's no chat. There's nothing else like this all going on. That's it. That was my first stream, and that was 2 hours of me just talking about Empire and frothing. The sound quality is awful. The video quality is awful. I had old bad internet. Now it's all been upgraded, and it looks better. But yeah, it's the volume had to be turned to the max, so any other sound made was deafening. And the fans on my computer were really going some as well, because my computer was melting. So it was awful. It was awful. So I have been tempted to do a video of my reaction, so going back and putting it on and then reacting to it and just pissing myself laughing for an hour, because that's all it would be. Because it's a very definitive jump, because it goes crack, 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 and then all of a sudden it goes boom. This was all right. And that was it. And here we are now. So so much better. But it's been weird. I have to admit, it's like when I started doing this, I had no idea like Orc Planet existed. I had no idea, so LARP Noobs, no idea any of this. So I didn't look into anything at all. I just went, I want to do this, so I did. And then all of a sudden I realised there's all these wonderful things out there, and I'm like, I've stepped on so many toes doing this.
No, if you think about it, because I was thinking the other day, like, Empire is its own creative property, it's its own universe, but there's not that many people making content about it. Like, there's thousands of people making content about Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, but there's less than 10 people, I would say, or 10 groups of people doing Empire content. That's not very many.
No.
If you
I've just had an idea. Oh my god! Wait.
Oh, not another one! No, put it away. We don't want them here.
Fucking hell! Oh my god! Kill me now! No, don't kill me now. I'm wonderful, really. I'm not. I'm not doing this one. I'm not going to do this idea. If someone wants to do it, and I'll be on it, that's great. Lord of the Rings, but you're dressed as your LARP characters and reacting in character.
Oh, as in watching the film.
Yeah. I've broken Matt. So let me get this straight. You've got a fucking ring that makes you invisible. Do you know how much alcohol you could steal taking that?
Surely, it would just become a drinking game of guess which character is in which nation.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, that would. Oh my god, no.
Yeah.
No.
Either way, we're talking about Orchid tonight, aren't we?
We are, yeah. Oh man. We're going to get onto the Uruk-hai, because I fucking love the Uruk-hai. They're awesome. They look so cool. Oh, jeez.
Lurtz deserved better.
Yes. Oh, he was awesome. He was absolutely awesome. I think if he had taken Aragorn's head off when he meant to, he would have got hold of that ring himself, and I think we would have had King. The Uruk-hai would have taken over, and that's a world I could live with.
Yeah,
I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, doing all the tangent train at the moment in chat, which is awesome. Fuck me. 2022 in character Lord of the Rings review. Right, it gives me a oh Jesus.
That's about 24 hours worth of just films to watch, isn't it? Now, I suppose.
I love it. I love them though. I love them all. So good. Yeah, that's we could spend an hour talking about them. I know I definitely can. So we're not going to go that way. We're not going to go that. So yeah. So orcs tonight. We're going to talk about Imperial orcs. We're going to talk because we've done the stream where we talked about, because I talked to Smo as well, and she gave us her insight to it, as well as a newer orc player, and it was really interesting. And I love getting Smo's opinion on a lot of stuff, because she likes to speak her mind, and I think it's very. Oh, I didn't realise she was in chat. Ah, okay. I can't say anything nice about Smo anymore.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
It's a really shit stream, wasn't it?
It was awful, terrible. Can't. If Sam, shut the fuck up, man. Hot as fuck as well. I love the fact that she speaks her mind, and that's a really good thing, and I don't think enough people do. And she spoke a lot. I thought she spoke a lot of truths that night, and it was really, really nice. So sorry, Liam. Hydrate. Yeah. I'm only doing it the once. But yeah, it was really, really good and really, really interesting, because it answered a lot of things that I had no idea about the orcs. But we have always threatened to look at orc kit.
Yes.
It's never happened. It's always been threatened. So we're going to look at some orc kit tonight, and we're going to talk properly about the orcs. We're not going to take the piss much, but we are going to deal with in a bit more in depth, I guess. Because orc kit is something that everybody always says it's an inspiration, and it looks amazing. It always looks better than everyone else, and all of this sort of stuff. To which it does, but it doesn't take long to get that kit sorted, though, does it?
No, and actually, as much as it is very impressive to look at when you see all of the Imperial Orcs on the field, I would say, if you've put the effort into making some kit for Monster, you've basically got Imperial Orc kit already.
Yeah.
I would say almost anyone who's brought kit to Monster with could join the Orc Nation if, like, their character died that event. If they had the mask, of course.
Yeah.
I think it can be quite intimidating to think of all the stuff you need, but actually at a basic level, you need a tunic, some trousers, a scarf, some arm wraps and some leg wraps, and your orc mask, and a war skirt. And that's it.
Yeah.
I would say it is and can be as basic as any other nation's kit.
Yeah. Thank you for the subscription there, Becca. I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think when I look at the orc kit, I mean, I hate my kit anyway, and I will say forever, I don't like my kit, and I always want to change it. But I love looking at the orcs when they walk around in the battlefield, and they're doing their thing, because you all look so good. The problem with the orcs, I find, is that when you're not in kit, because I don't want to look at you anymore. So.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's all right. Look, you're chainmail Jesus. That you've got your thing. You're good, mate. You're good to go. But I love the fact. Becca says, "That looks lovely." Oh, lie! Don't lie. Leave chainmail Jesus alone. Yes, the anonymity is great. I can imagine. I love the fact, because I look at all the orcs and I think, oh, I like that. I like that. Oh, I do like that. Oh, I don't like that. And it's, yeah, you take sort of inspiration for that. So, I mean, like, for Fowl, where was all your inspiration from kit, or did you get a stapler?
Yeah. No, so I've got some quite specific inspiration for Fowl. So in the Imperial Orcs, your kind of colour scheme and style is based on your group. So it's not like the other nations where you can kind of wear whatever you want as long as it's to brief. You know, in Wintermark, you don't necessarily have a uniform in
No.
in whatever banner you're in that I can't remember the name of. But in the Imperial Orcs, like, each player group, each banner has its own look and feel. So the Skywise, which is the banner I'm in, we basically take our design cues from the Jedi. So
Okay.
it's lots of beige, lots of sort of pastel colours, things that make you look like a lawful good hero.
Okay.
That's sort of the idea.
Hmm.
It like in world, you could say we take inspiration from the Suak because they've got a very similar color palette.
Yeah.
You know, we've got close ties with Wintermark anyway because you gave us a load of land and we kind of live in your neck of the woods. And then I guess the rest of it is just kind of the national kit, which is a war skirt, wraps, and then jewellery.
Yeah. I think it was something when I was talking to Pell, he said something, and it was something I really love is the fact that when you look at things, it's the little bits of the wiki that are mentioned, and it's like, and you see everybody take a bit as a whole. I love the fact that there's each part of the wiki is it's all really, really small, and there are tiny little mentions that you can just grab that little bit and go, right, I'm going to run with that bit. I'm going to run with that little bit, or that bit that's really, really cool. Isn't that the same? That's the same sort of thing, I guess. Then, because I've never read the Orc Wiki, so.
Oh, I've got some favourite bits, but I've got a bit of kit that I've made exactly because I saw something. I saw a sentence in fact, it was in one of the Winds of Fortune, and I just thought, oh, holy shit, that's really, really cool. So in the Winds of, I think it was a Wind of Fortune because it wasn't a military-based thing. Whenever an orc preacher is mentioned, they have a heavy metal medallion that is either a 7-pointed star or a 7-spoked wheel.
Right.
Which denotes the fact that they are a preacher. And I think it's mentioned like 1 or 2 times, and it's just a small little thing. And there's this story of this orc preacher who goes to the league with a bunch of his mates. He's sitting in like their church, and this leaguish preacher is teaching about some of the paragons, probably Araz or whichever the league ones are.
Yeah.
And the orc confronts her at the end and says, "Why don't you talk about Thrace? Why don't you teach your congregants about our orc exemplars?" And this whole story is basically her internal monologue of, "Oh my word, there's this giant orc preacher that could rip my arms off like Chewbacca. What do I do?" But yeah, he was wearing one of these, and I thought that's something really cool to make, so I made one.
Are they available at Armchair Armourers by any chance?
They're not, because this one is about 250 grams worth of pewter. So it's basically a brass knuckle.
Ouch. Excellent. Sorry, I've had to get my phone out so I can keep an eye on the Discord so I can see if Dave.
I just thought you were getting bored.
Oh, I'm always bored. Okay. So what were your so the Jedi's for the Skywise? I have to admit, at one point I thought Skywise was your first name.
A lot of people do.
Yeah. I claim complete ignorance and stupidity on that front, though.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what are the? So you've got gate renders.
So the gate renders are quite League inspired.
Yeah.
They're Second Legionnaire heavy siege technicians.
Yes.
So I believe and I'm only talking on their behalf. I don't know their whole story, but I believe their group's theme is that they helped the Tower Jacks, which I believe is a siege army in the League.
Yeah.
And they used to like break doors down and ram walls and use grappling hooks and scale walls and things. And so they are, I think their colour scheme is purple. I don't know if they've got anything else to it. But they're quite sort of fancy and take after the kind of League, I guess Bravo brief a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they've got that song about them as well.
They do have the song. The only lyric from that song I know is "Smash." I'm pretty sure you can sing the whole song just saying Smash.
Yeah,
so
I have on more than one occasion. Smash.
Exactly.
So that's my attempt. Okay, so I'm just trying to think of any of the others. I mean, yeah, what do we do? Smash. Oh, I want mashed potato now. Sorry. Yeah, because you've got is it the first Legion and the second Legion, haven't you, as well?
Yeah.
So are they
So-
all? Do you all split into like halves when it comes to it? Because you're all soldiers, aren't you? Essentially.
So every orc has like a military background. Generally speaking, we've almost got like a what's the phrase? National service. That's it. We've almost got like a national service where all orcs will learn to fight.
Yeah.
Prior to like 5 years ago now, maybe 6, we didn't have land, so we just lived in the armies. Each banner will have a legion that it supports, so they're either Summer Storm or Winter Sun, or they're a Dirty Reaver who are non-aligned. But we push them to a corner. They don't really exist. They're not real orcs.
Okay.
And that legion can also affect your kit. So already we've kind of got a couple levels of things that you have to fit into.
Yeah.
Almost. That kind of help you choose what you want to wear, and it works really well because I don't know if you know, like, or I don't know if you feel the same way, but like uniformity at LARP looks really cool. If you see 5 people wearing similar kit in a line, they look amazing.
Yeah, look at the Seawolves in the league with the yellow and black rather, and they look fantastic. And I think the only uniform that I've ever been part of at LARP is the 2 feet tattoo, so I have the footprints tattooed on my head, and that's what all the
like
2 feet have. So
for some nations it just doesn't work. Like the Navarre, I don't feel like it fits in. Wintermark as well, not necessarily because of your heroism.
Yeah.
But especially for the orcs, not necessarily being like a uniform, but being regimented is very much part of our brief.
Right. Okay.
And because we all know that friends are your greatest asset at Empire, if you've got a group of people, you can basically do anything. If you can look like you're in a group rather than being on your own, that also does kind of subconsciously give you a bit of a leg up. It gives you a bit of a boost because if you're from, if you're from the Skywise, that's a recognised name. Like that's a household name in the Empire.
Yeah. Okay. So how many of the Skywise are there then? Sorry, go on. You were saying.
Now you're going to put me on the spot.
Yes.
I think 7 currently. I'm going to stick with 7 because that's a very virtuous number.
Yeah. So, Nestef has said, how do you... Oh, I think Smo's dealt with that one. Says, how do you join a group? Ask people. Sometimes groups are open to people joining and sometimes not, but asking OC or IC works. Val's joined. Becca's there. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I think there was a question as well. Yeah, but I've probably missed it. How would a new player who isn't part of a group yet go about making their kit regarding colour scheme and not stepping on a group?
So, it's not necessarily what's the word? It's not necessarily like absolute, but if you aren't in a player group, you can just be a legionnaire. So you can say you're an orc from the Winter Sun or the Summer Storm.
Yeah.
So you could, for example, if you didn't have any mates, if you didn't have any mates coming with you, or you wanted to try being an orc on your own, you could very feasibly have come straight from whatever battle we were. Look up the previous battles of the previous season, and you could just come, having been with the Winter Sun or the Summer Storm, come to Anvil. You can even use that as your name if you don't have a banner name to begin with. However, there isn't really a particular kit for the 2 legions. Like the The Summer Storm is very militaristic. So if you've got some armor on and you're a bit more straight cut, then you look Second Legion. If you look like you've just been dragged out of a swamp, then you look like you're from the First Legion.
I like the sound of that one.
They're very like shamanistic and spiritual. They're sort of like the, I guess like the spiritual leaders of our nation would be in the Winter Sun.
Oh, right, okay. I did not know that.
I think just to answer the question properly, if you go with generic browns and sort of dull colours, you should be fine. Each banner kind of has a colour for its own, but no one's got a monopoly on them. You know, if you're wearing beige, I'm not going to complain as a Skywise. If you're wearing red, the Iron Tide aren't going to complain. I would almost go and say that red is kind of the default colour for an Imperial Orc.
Yeah. So what within the Orcs then? This is something that I've been quite curious about because it's something that I think we've witnessed. You witness within LARP a lot, and I say a lot. That's probably a bit harsh. But you witness within LARP, you witness within nations definitely, and there are people out there who are. They judge you on your kit immediately, without even knowing you. They'll look at your kit and just go, right, I don't like this kit. You're not putting in enough effort, and they'll judge you on it, and you'll be essentially shunned from the off. So within the Orcs, is there anything like that? Are there any people that is there an aesthetic of you need to try more, do more? You're not doing enough here.
So there are always going to be Orcs that will moan at you for not weathering your kits or making it look like you've worn it for 5 years. There will be Orcs that suggest you buy more expensive masks. But generally speaking, like, kit shaming is against the rules.
Yes.
And if you were to come to the Orc Nation and you felt picked on, which, you know, I'm not going to lie, it has happened. Not everyone gets on with our nation. That's exactly what the egregores are there for. And Claire, who runs player support, there are lots of people you can go to ask for help and support. And, you know, if Chris and Ed, who are our egregores, have to then go and give a veteran orc a bollocking, well, I'm sorry, maybe they were just an asshole.
Yeah.
So one thing I would say is the balaclava masks that you get when you monster are not as great quality as a full head latex mask.
No.
But no one's going to care if that's the mask you have. You know, you're wearing a mask. That is literally the minimum requirements to being an orc, and you've got a bit of face paint on. Okay. You might want to upgrade to a hero mask. Because you're going to need to get a second mask after a couple of years because they don't last forever. Yeah. But there's not. And I'll say this again: that basically the minimum standards to being an orc is a tunic, some trousers, wraps to cover your arms, legs, and neck, and a war skirt. That's all you need to be an orc. You could be a generic legionnaire. You don't need to have banner colours or group colours because you can join groups in play.
Yeah.
As long as they're sort of dull colours and they're like non-offensive, then you're good to go.
Okay, that's good to know because I mean my kit. I'm not even going to say my kit's rubbish or anything like that anymore. I'm bored of saying it because I say it so bloody often. I think when it comes to a lot of kit, I find personally because I have as we discovered with my chat with Andy, I have no talent when it comes to making things. I just can't do it. I can't get my head around it. I really, really struggle doing it. Hence the conversation where the stapler and super glue came in because that's the only way I could physically do it myself. It's turned out to work fairly well. Oh, they're nice.
So some of my best kit, and actually my most useful kit, are my arm wraps, which are a pair of £1 cotton gloves from Primark, a pair of like £2. Oh no, they're like wool gloves. They're like little cotton gloves, and then a strip of fabric that I've sewn to the palm,
Right.
and that is instantly a full coverage arm wrap. You know, it looks brilliant. It's one of my
Yeah.
favourite bits of kit because it completely changed my arm shape, and it cost less than £5.
That's fantastic. How long does the wrap have to be then to cover your arms? I've got
We
you.
have a musical interlude.
I've got
I
you.
will show you.
I say I've got you cropped at the moment, so we're probably about your elbow on your left arm. That's all we can see.
So my bit of fabric currently is maybe 2 feet long.
Okay. So I'll just read out a little bit. Smo said Chris and Ed are amazing, and on banner colours, my banner, the red hands, don't really have a colour, just a logo and a right red wrist wrap. Try saying that fast while drunk.
So that does all you need, basically, which is like 2 foot, about a metre of fabric, and you're good, I would say.
Okay. Okay, and then So how do you weather your equipment then?
Well, some orcs are going to get mad at me. I don't. Because Val is a citizen of the Empire. He's got more than one pair of clothes, and he washes.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I don't think unlike Reavers.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the kit I have from when I started 5 years ago does look weathered because I've worn it. But that's, you know, I've got like some tatty fabric that's just a bit mud stained and oil stained. You can do loads of stuff to weather it. You can get leather polish, you can get actual mud, you can spray paint and speckle stuff. Yeah. But like I said, I like to wash, so
makes sense. I mean, yeah, we're not going to get onto the whole politics side of things this evening for you, so we'll avoid that. John's asked, do the Imperial Orcs have at the start of and or during an event something similar to standing or moots?
So we do, but it only happens once event, and it happens at sundown on Saturday. It's called a Lands Meet.
Right.
And it's basically our national moot. So it is, in fact, it is the one main time our camp is closed to humans.
Okay.
Only for about an hour or so. But that would be the time when we discuss, you know, like the mandates or judgments that are going on in the synod, where we want to move our armies, whether we want to drop a mountain on the Thule, you know, all that.
Who doesn't?
What flavoured tea is the best this season?
I can actually imagine that one going on as well.
However, I would say from knowing how other nations do national meetings, ours could be a lot better. It's just more thematic. We could have a Friday night and a Saturday morning meeting that would be a lot more convenient for everyone and get across what we want to do the event in a timely manner much better, especially with like time sensitive things. But because orcs look best just as the sun's going down, and it's like the one time of day when all the seam lines go away and everyone's bathed in a nice orange light and we just look the most aesthetically pleasing, that's when we choose to meet together.
Fair. That's fair. Pretty sure this is Chris. Is there a difference between the roleplay styles of the Legionnaire or Reaver archetypes, and is there much interplay, or is it just a click on the website?
So there is a lot of... Reavers and Legionnaires are at loggerheads, shall we say?
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the places where the reality and the wiki differ. Not on a fundamentals, not like we're completely off brief, we've done something totally different. But my understanding of the wiki is that Reavers are supposed to be part of a legion, and they do all the dirty jobs, all the running off into hedges and rescuing people, all of the looting bodies to make money for the legions, all of the sort of clandestine, rubbishy stuff that a good, upstanding Second Legion soldier doesn't want to muddy their boots with.
Okay.
However, in play, they are not necessarily pariahs. That's too strong a term for it, but they are almost seen as, oh, maybe they're not shifting their weight as much as we are. Maybe they're not working together for the same goal. So there's a little bit of animosity there between Legionnaires and Reavers.
So second rate and lazy is the...
Yeah, but then almost we know they'll do stuff we can't do, so we've got a begrudging respect for them. Like, we'll never tell that to them to their face, but when they come back and they've just made 100 thrones in an hour because they've looted everyone on the battlefield, you're kind of like, nod to yourself and think, oh, they're not that bad.
Okay, so so with the making of the money and stuff like that, they will literally go around and loot everyone on the battlefield that they can. And do they come back? Do they, if they've done these sorts of things? Yeah, as John says, yeah, maggots. Do they then come round and go up to the people in charge and say, "Here you go. Here's all the money, the things that I've taken on the battlefield. Here you go. You can have that."
I mean that was sort of I guess an extreme example, but like as the wiki states, that is what they should do. They're doing it for the good of, if not their banner, then their legion. They could just have it and keep it for their mates, and that's fine, because that's no one can tell you what to do with your resources.
No.
But there have been cases where if we need to do some fundraising, well, those Jotun in that field over there that we've just buried, they're not going to need their armor. Someone else might want it. Wintermark would call them maggots, but actually it's just a waste if you're not looting the corpse, really.
Yeah. So I think, because that's what they've been saying there. Chris has said, wait for the winter markers to cry, filthy, filthy maggots. See, I have got no issue with maggots at all. Even as now a winter marker, it makes sense if I had a weapon or bit of equipment. So, like, say for Mac, for example, I'm in the battlefield and it's like, oh no, if this was all real, like, oh, my boots have fallen apart. Great. Oh, look, that Jotun warrior there, his boots are nice. Oh, it looks like they'll fit. I'm having those boots.
So the only thing that is sort of anti-looting, I suppose, in our brief is that orcs have this concept of items of worth. Items are powerful. Items have a story. They're not sentient, but we can talk about them like they are. To the extent where if something has happened to an item, you might be worried that that's going to happen again. So if you were to take a suit of armor off of a Jotun who you just impaled on a spear, well, maybe that armor's not as protective as getting a Wintermark runesmith to make you one. Someone has died in that armor. It obviously didn't protect them. Maybe it's not going to protect you.
Yeah, I've always been of the this person's dead. They don't need it anymore. I can probably flog this, and I can get something better off for my haul that way. But I mean, I have said to people that I have done this on the battlefield as well, and they've gone, "You're a Matt." Yeah, we're not going to call you that. But so I think that's the reputation that I have, though, and I'm quite pleased with that now.
Yeah,
but
I guess it comes down to, like, Imperial Orcs and Orcs by extension as a species are entirely practical. Nothing will go to waste. We wear the same clothes for years and years and years because they're not broken. I've just mended them every day. My trousers aren't falling down. I've just had to sew them up. Um, if stuff goes to waste, then that's not good for anyone.
Yeah.
However, talking about trousers, I've now completely forgotten what I was going to say.
Chris says Steve is a baddie in shocking news. I'm not a baddie. I'm pragmatic. It's this. I think it's what a lot of people do. You just look back through history, and I think every single force fighting against someone, they've gone. No, not misunderstood. It's my sword is broken. Oh, there's a sword on the floor. I'm going to pick that up. My spear's shattered. My shield's shattered. Oh, there's a shield there. I'm going to use that. Something like that. It's using what you need at the time.
Yeah.
So if clothing is broken, I mean armor. Yeah, I can understand that. This armor's got a massive crack in it where I put my axe through it. Yeah, I'm not going to put that one on them. That's fine. I think. Yeah, so personally I agree with Steve, they aren't using it. I do like the fact that there is a bit within Wintermark that you have no, you're a maggot, you're looting people, and it's just like, they don't need it. I'm going to use this and spend money. I've had a very interesting in-character conversation with my Thane about this one. And I'm not going to tell you the result of it, but it was the in-character conversation was very, very interesting, I found. And I will actively encourage people to have that conversation in character. Because Steve might be saying all of this stuff, Mac might think something different. So Matt might say all this stuff, Fal might think something different.
Yep.
That's the way of it. So I will always say, go and ask and go and have a chat with people about it in character, get their opinion, because it's roleplay for a start. So a few people have had comments on this sort of thing. So John has said he can no longer use it. We can. As Kratos 2018. Smo has said, I think it's a fun little hangover from the Saxon influences. Think of all the splayed armour, buried in fancy Saxon burial. Oh, splendid. Sorry, all I had to do was read the next line. Sorry, Smo. The splendid armour buried in fancy Saxon burials. So yeah, I that's definitely going to be interesting conversations to have with people in the field. Yeah, I do like to provoke a nice in character conversation. I love to do it in the forge as well. Get two people start having a borderline argument, and then I'll go to the bar to buy a drink, and then I'll walk off and watch from outside. It's great. I love doing that.
And that's how Mac's #1 friend creating agency was born.
Oh, I should do that. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Do you want to make a friend? Well, here's a hammer. Becca's asked
someone with an entirely different opinion to you.
Yeah.
Work it out.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't go to High Guard. Oh, I will stop ribbing on them at some point. But today is not that day.
Question.
Yes, I know. I've worked my way back up to it. So this is a question from Becca. She says, whereas I am sure everyone is lovely, as a new player, the Imperial Orcs can be very intimidating. How can someone make some lovely Imperial Orc friends?
So on Thursday night, we usually hold a party in the Orc camp,
Yes.
Which is open to anyone. Sometimes it's been like tiki bar themed. Sometimes it's been fancy dress. Sometimes it's just. I think we had a barbecue one time. There was definitely a swimming pool at one of the hot events.
Yes, I saw that.
Someone bought a shitty little paddling pool. And yeah, so basically, any time before in character, you are more than welcome to come and basically be a tourist in the Orc camp and just come and say hi, come and chat to us. There's always loads of us mooching about. You know, come and look at all the cool set dressing stuff we're making, and we're more than happy to talk about like our characters and being an orc and stuff. It's just as soon as time in hits, the atmosphere changes and it's totally different. But before we put the masks on, come say hi.
That is something I'm very much looking forward to doing at the next event, because I've known of the Orcs. I've never really known anyone in the Orcs or anything like that, but since doing this, I've got to know a lot more of the Orcs. So I'm really looking forward to coming and having a few drinks in the evening and seeing everybody and just actually seeing people in person and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
so especially like you, Dave, and that, like Andy and people, and Smo in their camp and all of that. So I'm really looking forward to doing stuff like that. I will actively encourage people to go and even in character go over, find the orcs, ask a question.
Yeah.
Go there with purpose and ask them. I will always encourage it. I think Smo covered it really, really well when we were having a chat, and she was just saying, "Yeah, just come here with a reason. Yeah, just doesn't matter what it is. Just ask. Just come here with a reason. Have a bit of purpose, and you'll be good." Go into the York camp on Thursday and say, "I'm a new player, and likely 50 people will descend on the fresh meat." So it says, "I miss hanging around the gate and accosting people, to be honest." Yeah, there's loads of it. So, but we need to talk more about kit. Okay, Val's asked a question. We've got two questions. So, for someone who will be new to Empire, how willing are the orcs to trade for things? For instance, I plan to beast hunt. Do the orcs like skulls and other beast shinies like that, or am I likely to get a shanking?
Right. You are not going to get shanked. You are an Imperial citizen. Orcs are the most law-abiding people on that field.
Yes.
If they were to stab you, they would then go and hand themselves into the magistrate. Yeah, I know that's a bit blunt, but it's one of the biggest misconceptions about our nation is we are Lord of the Rings barbarian orcs. We are not. With regards to your beast hunting, actually, the most valuable thing you are going to have isn't going to be what you want to sell us. It's going to be the stories you want to tell us about your hunt and about the beast that you killed. To the extent that we have a festival every E2, which I think is spring, or maybe it's summer. E2 or E3?
No, it's spring.
Called the Night of Worth, and it's open to anyone in Anvil to bring items of worth. So in this case, maybe like a giant land shark skull or a drake toenail, and to tell the amassed crowd all the cool things about this item and how it came to be in your possession and in the camp.
That's cool. I had no. I'd heard of the festival, but I had no idea what it was about.
It's about the importance of items, not about the person bringing them.
Yeah.
But that's what gives things value. You know, if you were to come in with the tusk of a mammoth and tell us all the cool things that this mammoth has seen and done in its life and how its life was ended, that's really fucking cool.
Have you just seen Smo's comment? Hot take, your dead parent's sword has no value.
Yeah, afraid so.
Unfortunately, that is the case. So we've had
mainly just because we've seen about 200 of them at this point.
Everybody's gone. Oh dear. So Chris has said, what would your favourite bit of the Imperial Orc brief be that you would like to see more pushed in the field?
Preaching.
This comes up a lot, actually, doesn't it? Because I know Ginny's touched on it as well.
Orcs who follow the way.
That's nice.
So that's my stole that Val wears as a preacher. It's such a small part of the brief, and it's quite hard to do because it's entirely roleplay based. And the system is working against you. For an orc to be a preacher, you have to have a congregation.
Yeah.
And that congregation gives you a resource that makes you ill. It's the most suboptimal build you can have as a player. But it does give you votes in the synod.
Yeah.
And it's one of those small things where, because we joined the Empire and we have basically completely taken on the ideals of being a citizen and the ideas of the Empire, we've also taken on the religion and made it our own.
Yeah.
The orcs as a species aren't united on their religion. Every orc tribe has got a different kind of approach. they all believe they're going to the same place, but the way they get there and the things they have to do to get there are different.
Yeah. Okay.
The Imperial Orcs are strange because we've basically chosen our path ourselves. We've decided that the Imperial virtues will get us across the abyss. So, because of that, preachers have basically become zealots. We're basically now forcing the rest of our nation to be as virtuous as possible in quite a militant, direct way. And it's something that there's probably 10, 15 preachers in the entire game. And we've got to basically keep our nation on its toes and keep them virtuous.
Mm.
And it's super interesting, but because I've got an Imperial job, I never get a chance to do any of it.
So seeing some orcs stood on the old soapboxes and stuff like that then, and doing a little bit of that, or going around to people and trying to, I suppose, convert them to a specific virtue as well, and just anything like that, just more preaching of it.
Yeah, it's just more kind of showing people how their actions are inherently virtuous, and almost like skewing what they believe to make it focus on the virtues more.
Yeah, because that was something. That's something in the trailer that I want to do. And the two ways I came up with doing it was, one of them would be to have someone just dressed there and have a load of kids sat around their feet, them on the chair, and just like it looks like they're telling them a story or preaching to them, like Sunday school or something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be other things happening, so you're not going to hear what they're saying, but that sort of look and feel, I think, would be a very, very good thing. And then also have someone stood on the box on the corner and have a load of people like, unfortunately my image for this one was Life of Brian, where he falls out of the window and he's holding the thing, and you've got everybody stood there looking up at him, and it's like, don't do to other people what you wouldn't want done to yourself. What? And things like that. That's the image that I had for that. But I think it's something that stands out a lot more than a lot of other things. So seeing something like that, because Ginny has definitely said that she would love to see more people doing it, and I think anybody in the religion game would like to see a lot more of it. So, God dear, I'm behind in chat now. We're doing well. I love it when this happens though. I love it. John said he hears good things about the Orc Facebook group. Yeah, really positive. Yep. Really, really positive. I love it. I sort of snuck into that group and have just remained silent and hidden and tucked away in the corner, and I just watch. Yeah, really, really nice. Really, really positive, and it's love to see. I love to see all the examples that people give, and like, so when someone puts a picture up and says, "This is what I'm doing," and everybody goes, "It's great, it's great, it's great, it's great, it's great." Add this, add this, add this. I think I've even seen someone go, "Oh, I've got like 4 of these spare. Do you want one?" And stuff like that, and they just here, have all of this stuff.
We're pretty communal as a group.
It's great.
It's
really
very
is.
much like, the needs of the many.
So Chris has then asked, how easily, kit question, how easily do you find it to modify the masks to accommodate beards, long hair, etc.? I think you can deal with both of those.
Yeah, very easy. The mask is latex with a paint finish on it. All you need is a pair of like toenail scissors, a pair of really sharp small scissors, and you can cut the latex. It will hold its shape. Most of us have to cut our mask holes bigger to accommodate beards and stuff. You can take the whole neck off if you need to. You can glue stuff to the latex with something called Copydex, or even just more latex itself. Stretch fabric is great for that. A lot of people will add like fabric necks to their masks so they don't have to bother with a neck wrap. If you've got hair on your mask, you can put a zip in the back. Quite a few people do that to make them really easy to take on and off.
Nice.
Yeah, they are very easy to mod, and most orcs who know how to do it are happy to lend you a hand or even do it for you in the field, or at least give you pointers.
Yeah, definitely, because I did buy myself an orc mask in the past, and it was a red one, and it had like the beard, the facial hair on the side, a nice mohawk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of them in the field now, so I'm quite pleased that I don't have it. I put it on, and my God, it was so small. I've got a really big head, and I couldn't even get it over the top. I was like wearing it as a hat, and that was really, really tight on me. So
I don't know about other companies, but Mandala, because they are the company that made the original Orc masks, they now stock them in 3 sizes and the balaclava mask, which, because it's more stretchy, is innately like it fits more people. So the Rogue mask is their smallest mask. The Hero mask is their medium regular mask, and then the Brute is their large mask. So if you do have a big head, make sure you get a Brute mask.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Because putting on one of those masks that's not the right size, it's so uncomfortable.
I mean, if you want an instant facelift, then it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God, it's awful. Yeah, so I've been uncomfortable in my life, but that was really, really uncomfortable. So where did we get up to then? So Becca is making notes on a wyvern hunt. Her character intends on doing. So Alfie says, "I know that there is a torn up tea towel with a rather good story with it." Are you aware of this?
Sure, there is.
Excellent. Because I have no idea about that. Ben says, "But what if the story is really, really good, Smo?" Oh, that's about the dead parent's sword. So yeah, this is my this sword belonged to my dead parents. I killed them all with a brick. That would be,
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I'd love to see the reaction. Actually, the entire orc camp. Oh, another dead parent. You murdered your parents with a brick. What is wrong with you? What were you smoking at the time? Oh, Ben's redeemed a posture check. I have to do these things, you see. I have the points now for during the stream, because I used to have one called Mac It Up, and I hated it because it was being used like 30 times a stream, so I got rid of it. So now the sensible ones like check your posture, make sure you've had a drink, and stuff like that. So they work pretty well. In the words of Thane Bron, the orcs are bloody zealots of the way. Ben, find Weir of Worth and ask them about it.
Yes. One of our sinecures, which is a player-made area that exists within the game, is the title's called Weir of Worth. It gives them a little house somewhere in Scarsind. They are the orc that organises the festival or Night of Worth every spring. And I believe they pick the shortlist for stories that happen in the Night of Worth.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'll have to see if I can get something into that night then. And that'd be a nice challenge, because I do love to tell a story in character. See if I can find something as well. So I believe I'm getting something 3D printed for me, a massive horn. So
cool.
A war rhino's horn. So I'm gonna. So I'll have to make something up for that, I guess.
Nice.
So what else have we got then? Have good stories, but you can't have the trinkets that go with them. Reese asked, how do you stay cool, especially in the summer?
Well, I've got quite a good hack for this. I wear a robe that is almost ankle length. It's actually anvil cut length, so it's 10 inches off the ground. And I don't wear trousers. So I have nice pasty legs that get hidden away, but it means I have a constant through draft that cools me down.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, doing things like cutting your nose holes or your ear holes in your mask means then you've got a tiny bit of circulation going through your mask, which can help a lot. alternatively, things like if you've got a gambeson, cut the armpit off so you've got a hole in there. Especially if you are wearing like heavy stuff during the summer.
Yeah.
You can get very creative with making bits of clothing look like they're more layers than they are. So if I was to, like, I'm wearing a cardigan and a shirt at the minute, if that was too much for me in the summer, what I could do is if I wanted to make this into a bit of orc-specific kit, I would cut the front of my shirt off and I'd stitch it to the cardi, and then you've got one layer as opposed to two. And
that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm a firm believer in you need a breeze and stuff like that, so that's why I wear a skirt. It's really, really nice. That's the bonus of, because I wear a kilt, but I wear enough to cover it. So even in the cooler, even in the winter and stuff like that, you're still warm because it's thick.
Yeah.
As well, it's really, really nice.
Yeah. I mean, orcs are never going to have a problem with being cold.
No.
Even just wearing a mask keeps a lot of heat in. But have a fan so you can fan yourself. That's good.
Don't people go off back into their tents just to take the mask off for a while as well?
FaceTime is also what we call taking your mask off and taking 5 minutes. There is absolutely no shame in not being able to do a whole day in a mask. You need to wear your mask to be in character, but if you need to go out back, especially after a battle or after a skirmish, and just take your mask off for 5-10 minutes, even if you want to go and get something to eat without your mask on, as long as you're doing it out of the way, not where other people are role-playing, there is room at the back of the camp. I'm sure you can stand behind someone's tent or just in a dark corner. Okay. There's no shame in that at all.
Yeah. So Alex has asked, I'm looking forward to the conflict roleplay of their character's strong dislike of the orcs, conflicting with his role as a physic in service of the Empire. He's from Holberg. Do you get much of that sort of roleplay? People coming up to you just like, I don't like you, stay away from me.
No, not that overtly, because that just stops roleplay. If you were to come up to me and say, I don't like you, Fal, you're an orc, I'd just ignore you. I wouldn't engage with you. It's sad because that's a really big part of the game, and it's very explicit in a lot of briefs.
Yeah.
That people don't like the Dornish brief in particular. It says, you shouldn't trust an orc in high places because they don't deserve to be there. Or they might jump on you from a height because they have the high ground. In the League, they don't trust people. They don't trust orcs. It's very hard to do in a way that's enjoyable for everyone.
Yeah.
Because you've got to remember, it's all well and good you being an arsehole. That's totally fine. But if you're not enjoying it, and it's making you get less and less roleplay, and if the people you're doing it against aren't getting a kick out of it, then it's not really achieving anything.
Yeah, I think it could be a fairly interesting way to get extra roleplay. So if I came in as a character who hated the orcs, I think if I was able to then one evening go up to the orc camp and go, right, I want to sit down and I want to have a chat with a priest or something and say, I don't like orcs, I don't like you. This is why. And then you get that discourse, you get that back and forth, and you get to discuss it. Well, I think that's a way of doing it.
Yeah, that does happen, and that is a really good way of doing that. But especially in circumstances like that, you have to be prepared for your character's opinion to get changed, and then to realise that actually you don't hate orcs, you hate the enemy and you hate the barbarians.
Yeah.
We as a nation are incredibly good at diffusing tension and removing people's prejudices from them because we've done it so much, and it is a really nice experience to have that. I've had friends who play characters that don't like orcs, and then we've had that like redemption arc where you've tackled it head on, and you've kind of got them to tell you why, and you figured it out, and then they get a cool bit of like, oh, my character's had an arc. I can do cool new stuff now.
Okay, that's cool.
It's the best. Sorry.
No. I
think the best way to do. Sorry.
Go back. You talk. I'm gonna shut up. I'll be over here.
Right. The best. Right. You're gonna hear it here. The best way to do orc prejudice is don't let the orcs know you're doing it. If you're in high guard, you're gonna have a water bowl to wash your hands. Have a dirty one that you let the orcs wash from. That's on the floor. If you're, I don't know, serve them food from the scraps rather than the nice stuff. Do things that they won't necessarily know.
Yeah.
But that you can have a kick out of, and you could be, I got one over on that smelly orc.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it. I mean, Mac, I started off as the not liking orcs, and it was something as simple as I can't tell the difference between them and a barbarian orc. And that was it. And then it was my second battle, and it was the first one I'd fought with the orcs, and I had an orc actually come up to me and go, Imperial, not Imperial. And it's like, can you see the difference? And I was like, no, not really. And he literally grabbed hold of my armour and was just like, well, they're wearing this fucking colour. We're wearing this fucking colour. If I see you hit one of my lot, we're going to have words. And I was just like, I'll be drunk later, but we can talk. And that was it. And I was just like, right, okay. And that was it. And I just stopped caring after that. But there was an orc who I bumped into in the marches, and he had a box. And it had the most wonderful whiskey in it. And he was selling shots of it. And we ended up buying out his entire stock. And we were sitting down with him on the grass. And he told me his name, which I forgot like 10 minutes later. And I remember having the conversation. I was like calling him by his name. And then I was calling him by his banner. Because I didn't know what was his first name and what wasn't. And I just said, you orcs is just way too confusing for me. I said, I don't understand anymore. I said, just keep giving me drinks. I said, that's fine. I said, I'm all right with that. So, but you're way too confusing for me. And he was like, so you're not going to come over to the orc camp with us now? Then I was like, no, I'm already confused and I've got a headache. And that was it. And it was, so I had that. And I will be the first to admit I don't roleplay enough with the orcs. And after doing all these streams, that is something I want to change and I want to remedy. Because speaking to people like yourself and hearing and seeing the way Dave, when he was in chat and you posting all these links and being so passionate about the orcs, and that I want to do more. I need to do more. I feel it's now, especially as I'm doing this, I feel like it's my responsibility to do more in the field and experience more, so I can talk about more. Because
we've got such a lovely brief that not a lot of people know about, because I don't know if it's the same for you. I purposely didn't read other nation briefs. Like, I just read the Orc one, and I read a bit of like Wintermark when I was playing there, because I wanted to learn about the nations in the field. And I think not many people read the Imperial Orc brief, so they don't know all the cool, interesting stuff that's going on that we're like dealing with as a nation. There's so much there that can be told and can be like encountered. It's amazing. A lot of us, because a lot of us are very like ambitious and kind of driven, we don't get a chance to just sit down and like have chats about what it's like to be an orc.
Well, we already know that there is going to be a conversation between Fal and Mac at the next event because of reasons going on away from the stream. And that, so there will be conversations had there, and I look forward to having that, because I will be so confused throughout the whole thing. Or is it an act? Who knows? It's really not an act. He's very confused most of the time. Oh my god. Val and Becca both redeeming hydrate. I finished my drink.
Oh,
I've got a little bit left. And Alfie's redeemed. No cursing. Yeah, so we can't swear for a while. I don't think we've sworn actually
not for
at
a
all.
while.
No. Okay, so I think it's like 5 minutes of no swearing. So 12 minutes passed. I think we need to have a snackers one. Oh my word. Steve always forgets to have dinner pre-stream. I had dinner. I've eaten, thanks Ben. I made burritos and they were delicious and wonderful. Oh, am I going to get kicked for swearing? No, I'm not allowed to swear, but I nearly repeated that, Alex. Val says Steve ends up confusing an orc about his story on how he dry humped a land shark. Yep. Any more questions? Foul, stop interacting. Oh dear. I'm going to scroll on down, keep on going. I half expected the answer to be we don't. Some orcs use ice packs.
Yep, that's true.
Pandora Misfit. Do you know any orcs that have skin issues? And if so, how do they deal with wearing the masks?
Yes. So,
Good
my
question.
friend Steph, who is another Skywise, is allergic to latex.
Oh my.
And she
word.
wears a latex mask. I also suspect that I am developing a latex allergy.
Oh no.
Which I didn't realise was possible.
Hmm.
Because the last couple of events, I got a really horrible eye infection, and I've had some bad reactions to stuff. I think barrier cream is supposed to be quite good at protecting your face from a mask. But I hate to say it, I think the orcs currently that do have issues just grin and bear it, and we're really bad for that. You can wear a balaclava mask, which means you don't actually have that much latex near your skin. If it's more the fact that like your skin is enclosed and that it can't breathe, I'm not really sure if there's anything that can be helped there. Because you are basically locked into like a body sock's worth of costume.
Yeah. Wouldn't something like taking an antihistamine or something like that every day, would that...
I think it should do. And in fact, actually, that is something I've mentioned to Steph that she should do. So,
yeah, that's because I remember I used to stay with a friend who had cats, and anytime I know I'm going somewhere with cats, I take an ibuprofen, not an ibuprofen, an antihistamine that morning because I am allergic to cats. So
I guess it's apart from being kind of useless with helping on that question, just try out an orc mask and see, put all of your kit on and see how you feel in it, because I would hate for someone, especially if they haven't, because obviously you're a monster, you can kind of figure out what it's like to wear an orc mask, but I would hate someone to come and want to be an orc and then they're not able to because they've got, they can't deal with the mask, which is a problem for some people.
That's a really good question there, Pandora Misfit. Yeah. That's a fantastic question, that one.
Yeah, thank you. I wish I had a better answer.
Yeah, I think that's probably something worth looking into a little bit more as well. If you find out any answers to that one, then let us know. I don't know if you're in the Discord or anything like that as well. If someone, I think Helen's gone for a shower, so Ben's pretty good at this. Alfie as well. If you can chuck the links for the Discord. Oh no, you can't because you haven't got the. Oh no, you can do the thing. Links. My God, I talk crap, don't I? Half the time. Jeez, I've sworn.
I did 4 minutes as well. We were
4 minutes.
there.
I was nearly there. Oh man. Oh, I lost the game. Oh no, I lost the game.
Oh, what is it? Is it 2008 again? Jeez.
Yeah. Oh. Fuck. Fuck indeed. Oh, jeez. Right then,
Right.
let's see where we got to. Let's see where we got to.
I think
Uh,
people are agreeing with Barrier Cream. That's good.
that's all right then. Yeah, Alex said I'm totally open to having my icy opinion changed. That's awesome. I think all opinions in game should be open to being changed or
Yeah.
manipulated in one way, in shape or form. George says, just shows how much of a fantasy empire is. You can change a bigot's mind. John, behave. I think that's real well, man. Let's not bring no, just no. Um, fine, fuck it. That's really killed the mood, hasn't it? Chris, hating a lineage or an orc can be more enjoyable in my mind. Can be like comments like "Oh virtues, here comes another one," or "Bad bedside manner" while you're treating them. Yeah, yeah. I think we're touching. Oh, I can see bigot being mentioned a few times now. Let's touch on bigot. I think then in a way you get it for briars, orcs, lineages, and things like that. I have never seen or heard of any. They can't do it because they're a woman. They can't do it because they're. I've never seen any misogyny, misandry. I think that's the word. I'm not very good at this. Excellent. I've never seen anything like that, and I think if there is any OC bigotry brought into game, it is jumped on very, very quickly.
So PD are. I guess I'll toe the company line here because I know some of the stuff. That PD have got a equality and diversity policy. It's on their website. It shows all of the stuff that they have no tolerance for and stand against.
Yep.
So, real world, transphobia, sexism, racism, all of that shit is completely against the rules.
Yep.
You will get called up on it. I think you can get banned if you're ardent enough that you're not going to change your mind. To the extent that gender neutral terms should be used for soldiers. Like there's no, "Oi lads, we're going to war."
No.
If a word in the Empire setting is gendered, so like merchant prince or empress, that is the in-game neutral term. Yeah, PD don't stand for it. The players don't stand for it.
Don't stand for it.
If you are a real life bigot, fuck off now, please.
Yeah, your face, my foot, they should meet. Oh, I don't think Twitch like that. Sort of threats of violence.
No.
Care.
I don't know. If you were to say... No, never mind. Right, so, on a lighter note, I was just trying to... When I was paused then, I was just trying to think, what are like my top tips for people wanting to be orcs, or considering it. If you are thinking about becoming an orc, see how you feel in a mask when you're monstering. That's a really good trial for what being an Imperial Orc is like. You get a chance to monster on both days, so you can get a longer experience in a mask. That would be super great to sort of see how you feel, and especially in battles where you're in high tension environments, you're running around, so you're getting really sweaty and horrible. That's the worst time to be an orc, and if you can hack that, you'll be fine being an Imperial Orc. Have a look at the species brief, not just the Imperial Orc brief, because there are things about orcs that are intrinsically different to humans. I believe when you go on the Imperial Orc page, there is a link to the specific species page. And I guess if you're coming in on your own, or you're in your own group of friends and you don't have a player group, have a look at the two legions that the orcs fight in, and see which one of them you prefer, because that can be a stepping stone to joining a player group or creating your own.
Yeah, definitely. Because before I went to Wintermark, I was considering getting rid of Mac and everything because it's when I wasn't enjoying the game, and I was thinking, oh, I want to be a gate render, and then I think they all died. So
I think they did. I think like the sort of the fellow who started it did, and I think a couple of his mates did. But the banner still exists. It's just very different now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I am going to get around to playing an orc at some point. I am 100% determined to do that. I've got other things that I want to do. So before I fork out on a mask, I think I need to. I think I need to do some other things. So what else we got?
I mean, I guess it goes without saying, especially because of this year, it's probably worth everyone buying an orc mask anyway. For you to monster in. I don't imagine PD will stop running orcs as monsters. They're very good on cleaning their masks anyway, and they only get, I believe, each mask only gets used by 2 people at an event.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more for skirmishes, but they're always sanitized and dried out. They're always clean for use by a new person. But if you're worried and you're thinking about it anyway, getting a mask for monstering now more than ever would be like, I would totally advise that. If I know it's another expense, but if it's something you're even vaguely considering, it is worth doing.
Definitely.
And then you're one step closer to being an Imperial Orc, and then never being a human ever again.
Preferential right there, because they do say once you've been an orc, you don't go back to doing anything else.
Yeah, apart from Andy, although we're going to ignore the fact he's going to the League.
Oh yeah, it's the League, wasn't it? I don't think it was Dawn. I was thinking about something else at the time. Yeah, I think it was Andy's shirts actually that was on my mind, and I thought, oh yeah, they're definitely Dawnish.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Andy's shirts, thing of legend, really, really are.
Outdresses all of us.
When I had him on stream, I felt so underdressed. I really, really did. It was just like, oh yeah, wow, okay. Oh, but yeah, that's so good. So I still need to do that horror game with Andy as well, because he doesn't do horrors. He said, so get him on to do a jumpy game. Or something.
Don't know. I know it's a tangent, but he went to a weird. I think it was like a Call of Cthulhu LARP up in Sheffield that just sounded batshit insane. Where like he ended up talking to a banana for like hours and weird stuff was happening. It sounded horrific.
Oh, I love that.
But apparently he enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Well, I just noticed another question. Sorry.
Which bit?
What would your advice be for new orc players who might be making a group, or coming up with a name for that group?
I suppose because within legions and stuff like that, it's like the same with every nation. When you come up with a name for your house, hall, standing, striding, steading, or anything like that, you can come up with pretty much anything you want. But
I guess from a from like a regular point of view, orc names are usually 2 words mashed together. So like Skywise, Ashbourne, Bloodcrows, Frostbears, Gate Renders. It's usually like an emotive word and a noun, I guess. That then becomes the... Is it a prefix if it becomes before something?
I have no idea, mate. You're talking to the wrong person there, because I'm a moron.
It's like your banner name basically becomes your surname, but your surname goes first, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, it prefixes the
So I'm Skywise Fowl, Andy was Ashbourne Raw. So your group name is almost more important for orcs than it is for humans, because that is the name you introduce yourself as. Like, I'm not sure whether Mac would introduce themselves as Mac of Hurst Hall. You know,
Yeah, no,
it might come up, but I don't imagine you would always have Hurst Hall
no.
like spoken in your name.
That's generally Mac 2 feet.
Yeah.
So, if people really push, it's Mac 2 feet of Hurst Hall. So it's, yeah. Or I think I've only ever been asked my full name once, and that was in Highguard. It's just rude, yeah. So
It's
Macus Belisarius Traherne 2 feet of Hurst Hall. It was just ridiculous.
God, that's a real LARP name, isn't it?
It is. It was a piss taker. It was a piss taker. My first character as well. So, because it essentially means warrior werewolf. So, because everything that he was called, so I thought, yeah, that's great. Yeah. Take a piss. I won't be this guy for long. 6 years later. So,
so I guess just to answer the question, coming up with names, it's usually something to do with the goal of your group. So if you've kind of decided what you want to get into, I don't know, say you want to be if you wanted to be like a group of soldiers, then it's going to be something kind of militaristic. So like our soldier groups in the nation are the Iron Tide or the Gate Renders. If you wanted to be like the Skywise are like a philosophical kind of spiritual leaning group. The Ashbourne were called such because in the rebellion, their group was born from the ashes of rebellion, and they did cool shit in the rebellion. It's usually something to do with what like your group's goal is, if it's a new group, or if it's a group that you say like existed since the beginning of the nation, like since the rebellion. Then it could be based on what you did in the rebellion. Yeah, I hope that covers most bases. But it has to be a name that you are proud of. It shouldn't be something that's derogatory or funny. Really, it's got to be something that you like draw strength from, and that you're really happy to use as a descriptor for you.
So I suppose it says red hand because our hands are covered in red. Orcs are smart.
Or that, yeah, you know, it's. I mean, you are second leader there, so let's take that one with a pinch of salt.
Would you say there is expectation for orcs to be expert fighters, strategists?
No, not at all. We are a militaristic nation. We were brought up as we lived in the armies as like a roving caravan. But you don't have to be military minded. You don't have to be a good fighter. You don't even have to fight. I have never taken the battlefield as foul. My war has been in like changing the hearts and minds of the people. You know, I would consider my fight is on a different battleground to actual sword and shield fighting. So I would, like, from my experience, I would say all orcs are fighters, but we're all fighting for different things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You definitely don't have to even be remotely interested in fighting to be in.
I mean, if you think of the orcs as a military unit, you have your medics, you have your intelligence, you have your commanding officers, you have everything there.
Yeah.
You have your logistics. You've got things that are in place, because not everybody involved in a military in any army, navy, air force, special forces, or anything like that, they are not all going to be soldiers.
No,
you're
right.
Yeah, it's quite a simple thing. John's asked a really good question there. Is this fact on the wiki, the thing of names having the meaning, or is it not common enough knowledge? So with what you were saying about taking the two, let's put them together and them having that sort of meaning. So if they're going to be military, so Iron Tide and
I think that's more just because it sounds cool and it fits.
It fits better.
I think there were like the Iron Tide I believe was created like it had some of the people who were involved in creating the Imperial Brief. And I think they had a couple of like example banner names.
Yeah.
As far as I know, it's always been 2 words, sort of. It doesn't have to be mashed together that means something that's important to your group. I will now have to go and check the wiki and fact check myself.
Okay. Yeah, it would be worth knowing that one, because my very, very brief interaction with the orcs on the wiki was more looking at the naming, the ways to name and stuff like that. So, John said in a chat with an orc, he guessed that fact, and the orc said he was the first human he'd met to work that out. So,
okay. I mean, I sorry, I am just checking.
You're wikiing it up. Can non-orcs go skirmishing, fighting, or beast hunting alongside orcs? Yes. Because I have been in the main battle, and I go running off on my own all the time, because I'm an idiot, and never go running off on your own, unless you are on a stupid amount of hits or can run like Jesse Owens. Show my age there, I know who Jesse Owens is. I have got lost and I have ended up alongside the orcs, and I have been told, right, we're here on our own, we're cut off, you're here with us, stay with us, we'll all fight together. And then we sang a song at the enemy, and it was great fun. Then charging a line, and then charging another line straight after that line, and pushing all the way through to, I think it was Urizen who charged to meet us, and it was great. That was so much fun to do. So go and ask them in character as well.
Well, that's the thing, like, because in a battle, you've got 5 nations each day. You've got, I guess, 50% of a chance of fighting with and the Imperial Orcs on a main battle. The orcs fight as an amorphous blob. Like, they look after themselves, and they often go on missions as a group because they are like one giant murder ball of shock troops.
Yeah.
They will often have people tag along with them who are like friends and allies. But it's the sort of thing where, like, if you wanted to fight with an orc, they're not going to turn you away, but they're going to look after you if they know you. And if you wanted to go on like a skirmish with orcs in particular, you'd really have to get to know them for them to like accept you as being an ally, I suppose.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that's, there's nothing to say you can't.
No, definitely not.
I have just found the wiki entry, sorry.
Excellent, go for it.
So I will read verbatim. Legion names tend to be 2 words that describe their goals. So Legion banner names tend to be 2 words that describe their goals, their fighting style, or some major event in their history. For example, the Iron Tide Legion favours heavy armour, whereas the Bloodcrow Legion favours lightly armoured skirmishers, and the Sunhammer Legion prides itself on its weaponsmiths and jewels.
Awesome.
There you go.
While you do this, I have ideas. Cheers, Matt.
It's all right.
Right. I have had a poke because I have said to Helen, if I go on too long, let me know. Because obviously I have a little one that has school first thing in the morning.
Yes.
And as Helen has work as well. So we've been going for an hour and 34 minutes at the moment. We have done well. We could go for another couple of hours here.
I definitely could.
quite easily. So, welcome to Orc Chat Part 1.
Yep.
I think we'll do this again. We'll try to get more people next time as well. The other people involved, basically, life comes up. Life got in the way, and that is more important than this. So, we'll do this again, and we'll see about getting other people involved, because as always, Chainmail Jesus, it's always great to talk to you and have you on.
It's been lovely
always
to come
good
back.
fun.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed myself.
Excellent. I'm doing Dark Blade on Friday. Then I'm not streaming again until the following Friday, where it will be the competitions and the giveaways and all of that sort of stuff. And there's loads of stuff there. So,
would you mind if I, just talking about giveaways, would you mind if I plugged our giveaway?
Yes, I would mind it. Of course, bloody Jesus Christ.
So,
we can't put links in because none of my mods are there.
That's fine. As many of you may know, I have my own little channel called The Orcs Planet, where we do lots of LARP-related rubbish. Andy and I are currently doing an Advent giveaway. We're doing a video. In fact, we're doing 2 videos every day, doing little LARP tutorials, and all of that stuff is getting given away just after Christmas. So, if you would like to have a chance of winning, probably hundreds of pounds worth of kit at this point, because we've done a lot of work, check out the Orcs Planet YouTube channel. The entry requirements are at the end of every video. So that's it, yeah.
Dave's just messaged me. I'm free now.
Oh, Dave.
Literally 1 minute ago.
Hi.
I'll message him.
Second Legionnaire. Always late.
Yes, I'll message him back in a second and just say we've just finished. So, yeah, congratulations. There you go. That's the YouTube channel there, so that's all in there. 600 subs. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I've nearly hit 170, I think.
That's good.
So it's not too bad. I'm nearly at 500 on Twitch, which is...
That's really good.
Amazing. Yeah.
Your Discord's doing good as well, isn't it?
Yeah, nearly 200 on Discord. We're growing. We're getting there. I will spread the rash that is LARP.
Yes.
The best way. So, yeah, so doing the giveaway next Friday. I will put something out on the thing about how to do it all, how to enter and stuff like that. So weaponry, some computer game codes as well for Steam, and there's some handcrafted leather work pouch as well that's been offered, and a ticket for Empire as well has been offered as well now. So
cool. Loads of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, LARP, there is a cream for that. So it's so we've got loads and loads of stuff coming up and doing, but I will put it all out on the 3rd. So I'm doing next week, which is going to be the 18th, I believe. Thanks for the bits, Alfie. And then after that, I'm doing the 30th, and the 30th is going to be a weird one because I just want to chat to people. So I'm going to be sat in my live stream chat, just with Discord. And if people want to come on and chat, talk about Christmas, what they're looking at, LARPs, what they've been up to, things like that, just to chill, chat and have a drink, they'll go into the chat and I'll move them into the Discord. We'll come on stream, chat for 5 minutes, and then they can go and we can just chill out.
That's really nice. That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. So, yeah, you heard it here first. So, I expect to see you on that one, Matt.
Yes.
It'll be nice to catch up after Christmas and stuff, so... But that's the 30th. That's Wednesday the 30th. So, but still. So I'm going to call it there.
Yes.
We will do this again. We will carry on, talk more orcs, I think, because there's a lot of stuff that we need to touch on. We'll actually look at kit as well, because that was one of the big reasons I wanted to do tonight.
Yeah.
So
I could show off this next time, couldn't I?
Oh, that's pretty. why you do this.
I had all my kit laid out. I was like, I could talk about everything. But...
So did Dave. So did Dave.
Yeah.
But he's just finished. So I will now break the news to him that we've finished. So, yes, and we'll do this. We'll get more people on, and we will just go into everything that we can.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on, Matt. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on and chat to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime, mate. Thank you everyone in chat as well. Questions, bits, everything for being involved. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're coming to the end of an amazing year. I wasn't expecting anything like this. It's been fantastic. Thank you all so much. And go chat in Discord. Do your thing. You're great. Love you all. Yeah, and remember, as always, if you're struggling, reach out. We're all in this together. And bits and bobs and stuff. So thank you. Yeah, as they say, thanks for talking to us. Yeah, I will talk at you. I just talk. You know, that's how it goes. But still, take care, everyone. Much love. See you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.